I'm in Safari Park in Dvůr Králové. It's a zoo safari style, about an hour and a half from Prague, Czech Republic. And right behind the entrance gate, you can see little meerkats, very popular African animal in any zoo. And you will notice that one of them usually sits at the highest point in the area, looking if there is any danger coming. The safari park is actually quite unique in some ways. Its focus is African animals, and it's also one of the most important breeders of African ungulates in the world. And now you may ask, what on earth is ungulates? Well, it's a group that primarily consists of large mammals with hooves. For example, horses, rhinos, tapirs, cattle, pigs, giraffe, sheep, deer, and so on, so on. The rarest animals that they have here are northern white rhinos, which are now on loan to Kenya. The zoo is the only one in the world where northern white rhinos have successfully given birth. The zebras, they can actually, even now when it's cold, kind of stay during the day outside, but some of the mammals cannot. For example, giraffe must be inside in the building, heated building. And I wanted to mention that in comparison to world most famous zoos, like for example California, San Diego Zoo, this zoo in the Czech Republic is actually, in my opinion, pretty successful. In the first 10 months of 2021, it had over 500,000 visitors, while the San Diego Zoo has about 3 million a year. But another difference is that San Diego Zoo will charge you, I think, over 60, maybe $62 for an adult visitor ticket. And here you pay 240 crowns, which is something like $11 in the summer during the season, and 170, which is like $8, I think, now when it's after season, winter coming. So it's a pretty big difference. Also, if you are looking here for the animals basically outside of Africa, if you are looking for ever popular pandas or polar bears, you will not find them. As I said, the safari park is focused on Africa, on savanna, in some cases some jungle animals, but mostly savanna of Central Africa. Have you noticed when looking at the giraffes that you can hear birds singing? That's kind of a little bit surprising to me. I don't know if it's just the local birds, probably, that got inside and are stealing some food and keeping warm. Because normally in Africa, when you see wild animals, most of the time you see some birds picking off their skin, some insects or parasites. That probably has nothing to do with it, but still it was a little bit surprising that I hear the birds inside the building where giraffes live. Let me introduce you Barbary lions, also known as Atlas lions, the largest lion subspecies. An adult male weighs about 500 pounds. The lions were named after Barbary Coast, which is basically an area between nowadays Morocco to Egypt in northern Africa, but were wiped out due to human activities. Hunting contributed to their extinction in the 19th and early 20th centuries. It's believed that Barbary lions went extinct in the wild in 1960s. Today, about 100 are living in captivity, and where I am, this is part of a breeding program. The two cubs are about 5 months old. The lions were very popular with the Romans in the ancient times, and if you saw some bad Hollywood movies, you may think that the gladiators killed them, but that's not true. Gladiators fought only gladiators. But the fact is that many of them were imported into Rome, killed in the Colosseum and arenas throughout the Roman Empire, but it was a staged massacre of wild animals. The rhinos are zoo's flagship species. In 1965, Josef Wagner took over as the zoo's director, and he transformed the zoo and influenced animal husbandry standards and zoo culture throughout Czechoslovakia and the world. He was an enthusiast of Africa and developed the previously unknown zoo into Europe's largest collection of African ungulates, as I mentioned. He undertook 10 expeditions and brought in more than 3,000 animals, mostly from the Great Plains of East Africa. And despite logistical challenges and strenuous days of sea travel, the shipments of his African animals had a high survival rate. The zoo also has a collection of primates and monkeys, as you can see right here, and it's always fun for people to watch them, especially for children, as you can imagine. And here is another animal that you cannot see in many other zoos: Liberian hippo. Why is it so special? Well, there is only about 2,500 of them surviving in the forests and swamps of West Africa, primarily in Liberia, and until the 19th century they were virtually unknown to the outside of Africa. They are a smaller relative of the amphibian hippo, and they are obviously very threatened species. This is an aardvark, a nocturnal animal that feeds on ants and termites, lives in Africa. And they also have a beautiful collection of reptiles, various snakes, birds, and so on. But what I found really fascinating was chameleons and lizards. Beautiful colors, beautiful animals, and there is a lot of them. Not very excited about the snakes though. So let's have a look at lovely flamingos, and I think it will be it for me today. So if you like the video, and I hope you did, see you next time. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Take care.